Right now, the $450 cream in your hand has the exact same active ingredient as a $12 product sitting on a shelf at your local drugstore. And the brand that sold you that jar knows it. I'm Pure Beauty Lab, and this is the Beauty Trap. So why do we keep buying these creams if the science doesn't back them up? Because 3 big lies are pulling us into this trap, one at a time, and by the end of this video, I'm handing you the 5 hidden gems that expose every single one of them. But first, we need to see the trap for what it really is. And the first lie is coming in exactly 45 seconds. Stay with me, because the third gem on today's list works so well that even the people who sell the luxury version won't tell you about it. Here's the setup. On one side, 5 luxury brands that have spent decades convincing you their price tag equals their performance, built on packaging that whispers exclusivity and marketing that sells you a feeling instead of a formula. On the other side, your wallet, and your ability to actually think clearly about what you're buying instead of what you're being sold. This is a fight, and right now, without even knowing the rules, you are losing it every single time you walk past that counter. Lie number 1, the scarcity lie. The Prairie Skin Caviar Luxe Cream sells for around $530 for a 1.7-ounce jar, over $300 an ounce, and the entire pitch rests on caviar extract, marketed as rare, marine, almost impossible to source, harvested with the kind of language usually reserved for fine dining, not face cream. Strip that story away, and what's actually in the jar is a fairly ordinary peptide and retinol blend, the same category of active found in creams costing a tenth of the price. No independent, peer-reviewed clinical trial has ever confirmed that caviar extract itself does anything measurable for aging skin. Not one. The rarity isn't in the ingredient, it's in the price tag they've convinced you to accept. But look at this $9 alternative, sitting quietly at the drugstore. A peptide moisturizer with its exact concentration printed right on the label, something Prairie has never once done in the history of the brand. Same category of active, disclosed instead of hidden, verifiable instead of mythologized. So if the chemistry is this close, why is gem number 3 on today's list about to prove 10 times more effective than what you'd expect from its $9 price tag? Keep watching, because that one genuinely surprised me. Lie number 2, the ritual lie. And this is where the anger really starts to build. Sisley Paris Sisley Paris cream retails for close to $700 for 1.6 ounces, built around what the brand calls phytocomplex technology, a proprietary blend of plant extracts wrapped in language designed to sound scientific without actually being verifiable. Here's the part that should make you angry. The concentrations are never disclosed anywhere on the packaging, on the website, or in any regulatory filing, which means no outside chemist, no dermatologist, no consumer watchdog can verify whether these plant extracts are present in amounts that could plausibly do anything at all. The ritual, the unboxing, the ceremonial scoop, the weight of the jar in your hand, all of it is engineered to make you feel like you're investing in transformation. You're investing in theater, beautifully produced theater, but theater all the same. Meanwhile, a $25 moisturizer built on niacinamide and aminopeptides at concentrations the brand has actually published, backed by its own controlled testing on real participants over real weeks, is sitting 3 aisles over, completely ignored by people who assume the emptier the promise, the higher the price should be. Public data versus a locked vault. You already know which one deserves your money, and yet the locked vault is what keeps selling out. Lie number 3. Guerlain Orchidée Impériale. The cream sells for around $420 a jar, anchored by something called Imperial Orchid Complex, a name that sounds like it belongs in a royal garden, not an ingredient deck. Orchid extract shows mild antioxidant activity in a lab dish, under laboratory conditions that bear almost no resemblance to what happens when you rub a thin layer on your cheek every morning. It has never been shown in a single published human trial to produce visible anti-aging results at the dose Guerlain actually uses in this specific formula. The gold-accented glass jar, heavy in your hand, catching the light on your bathroom shelf, is doing more work than the orchid is. And right beside it on the shelf, ignored by almost everyone walking past, a $20 cream combining pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C, 3 actives with decades of independent, peer-reviewed research behind each one individually. You're trading a $400 story about royal gardens for a $20 body of actual evidence, and somehow the story keeps winning. Now here's where it stops being funny and starts being personal. Dr. Barbara Sturm face cream costs roughly $300 for 1.69 ounces, and this one hides behind medical credibility on purpose, which honestly feels like a deeper kind of betrayal than the others. The signature ingredient is purslane, a plant extract with mild anti-inflammatory potential shown mostly in cell culture studies and small animal models. not large-scale human trials with the kind of statistical power that would actually mean something. A founder with a medical degree does not automatically mean the formula sitting in that jar is clinically superior, no matter how reassuring that white coat feels on the packaging. The porcelain concentration is undisclosed, just like everything else on this list so far. And cosmetic chemists who've reviewed the label say it functions as a basic soothing agent, nothing more. The exact category found in $15 creams built specifically for sensitive, compromised skin, stripped of fragrance and common irritants. The kind dermatologists actually reach for in their own offices when a patient walks in with a genuinely damaged barrier. And the fifth lie, saved for the most expensive item on today's list, the one that actually pushed me to finally sit down and make this video. Natura Bissé Diamond Extreme Cream runs about $700 for 1.7 ounces, built around what the brand calls Diamond Extreme Powder. And I want you to sit with that phrase for a second, because it is exactly what it sounds like. Diamond particles cannot penetrate the skin barrier. That's not my opinion, that's basic dermatological physics. There is no mechanism, none, by which crushed gemstone dust improves collagen production, smooths a wrinkle, or does anything besides catch the light attractively under a department store spotlight. The moisturizing work in this cream comes entirely from the same humectants and emollients found in nearly every cream we've talked about today, including an $18 niacinamide moisturizer that prints its exact concentration on the front of the bottle, backed by one of the largest bodies of clinical evidence of any single cosmetic ingredient on Earth. Diamonds are forever, apparently, but they are not doing anything for your face. Let's pause here for a second because I know some of you are already typing in the comments, but Bella, don't rich people deserve nice things too? Sure, but nice doesn't mean effective, and expensive doesn't mean rare. Every single one of these 5 brands is manufactured in the same handful of contract laboratories that also produce ingredients for the drugstore brands sitting 2 aisles away. The chemists are often the same chemists. The raw material suppliers are often the exact same suppliers. What changes between the $700 jar and the $15 jar isn't a secret formula locked away in a Swiss vault. It's the marketing budget, the celebrity endorsement, the glossy magazine placement, and the assumption baked into all of us since childhood that if something costs more, it must simply be better. That assumption is exactly what keeps this entire industry profitable, and exactly what today's video is designed to dismantle, one jar at a time. Add up those 5 luxury creams and you're at roughly $2,400. $2,400, and not one of those 5 brands has independent, peer-reviewed human data proving their cream outperforms a well-formulated basic moisturizer you could buy for less than a dinner out. That's the trap closing shut, one beautiful jar at a time, one ceremonial scoop at a time, one gold-accented lid at a time. Take a breath, because now we take the power back. Here is your Buy It for Life list, the 5 hidden gems, matched 1 for 1 against everything you just heard, so you never have to guess which shelf to walk toward again. Against Prairie's undisclosed caviar peptide blend, a $15 peptide moisturizer with a stated, verifiable concentration printed right where you can read it. Against Sisley's locked phytocomplex, a $25 niacinamide and amino peptide cream with published clinical testing behind every claim it makes. Against Guerlain's Orchid Story, a $20 formula combining pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid and vitamin C, 3 actives built on decades of independent research instead of one royal garden metaphor. Against Dr. Sturm's undisclosed porcelain, a $15 fragrance-free moisturizer trusted in dermatology offices specifically for sensitive, reactive skin. And against Natura Bissé's $700 diamond powder, an $18 niacinamide cream that tells you exactly what's inside because it doesn't need a gemstone story to justify the price. 5 alternatives, under $100 combined, for ingredient categories that are either equally supported by evidence or in almost every single case, more honestly disclosed than what the luxury brands were willing to put on their own labels in the first place. $2,400 on one side, under $100 on the other. The gap was never the chemistry, and it was never the science. The gap was the jar, the ritual, and the story you were sold along with the cream, packaged so beautifully that most people never stop to ask what they're actually paying for. I want to be clear about something before we close this out. This isn't about telling you to never enjoy a luxury product again. If the ritual genuinely brings you joy, if unboxing that heavy gold jar on a Sunday morning is part of your self-care and you can afford it without a second thought, that's your choice to make, and I'm not here to take that away from you. What I am here to do is make sure you're making that choice with your eyes open, knowing exactly what's chemistry and what's storytelling, instead of being quietly convinced that the $400 version is somehow protecting your skin in a way the $20 version simply cannot. Once you can see the difference between the two, you get to decide where your money goes, instead of a marketing department deciding it for you. If this just saved you from putting $500 on a jar of marketing, hit subscribe and ring that bell, because tomorrow a brand new robbing exposure goes live. And this time, it's not about creams sitting in a bathroom cabinet. It's about the 7 brands doctors themselves refuse to put on their own faces, no matter how confidently they recommend them to you. You'll never look at a skincare counter the same way again.